Yeah, and on that note, patience and the group that you work with, getting yield over long periods of time. Don't go after the quick schemes. You've set up this yield labs. What is that about? What are you trying to achieve with the yield labs?
So we've touched on a lot of the points already, kind of like and the mythology. So basically, everything, all of the above, we set up a group that we believe that we are some of the experts from an external perspective, from a consumer perspective, and obviously we didn't work in any of these companies or get compensated by any of these companies, but we've watched these things grow from a community perspective. We've helped, grow communities. We've achieved a lot when we kind of look back and write down what we've done. So we basically collaborated our efforts to kind of formalize and put a wrapper around it. And we want to investigate all of the yielding options. So, we are going to upset people by looking at things that they're not currently looking at. We are going to keep an open mind. We're not going to just say this is the one and only solution. And we're going to hold. So we're basically creating an open community where we provide this open information just in Zoom calls, and any of your users or listeners are welcome to come and join us. So an open discussion with high quality panelists like yourself, and we can have these debates and then share our opinions, and hopefully everything is in the best interest of our community. We kind of trying to help them create stability in portfolios and generate revenue with taking less risk while they can increase their assets, their portfolio size at the same time. So a lot of deep dive data, glass nodes, analysis, on-chain analysis, like in the moment, blockchain analysis, fundamental analysis, technical analysis, everything that we have kind of have the skill sets. And we're trying to basically do that as one piece as a community. Also work with companies in the space to kind of help them grow their products. And we can say like, hey, look, we have all this experience. We've seen this done before. Work with us. We can help work with you. We take a portion of that money. We give it back to the community for free as giveaways and like incentivifications. So we're basically trying to create this awesome ecosystem where we don't need to do it for money. We are going to do like business to business services as well. We're going to do like yield as a service. We have a lot of different avenues and things we can do, almost too much to do. And we have a data analytics business built in as well, where we can do Power BI to help crypto companies with their enormous data sets, kind of present these in a nice manner and help them with business intelligence and decisions. So we just have this crazy amount of intelligence and knowledge, and we're just going to formalize it into a group and then just offer a lot of this out to your listeners and other people, just to kind of help them and show them what is good, what bad. And if we get it wrong, like show us that we've got it wrong, and we'll kind of adjust our approach, and then how to structure this into a portfolio. So that's a lot of things that I just said, but that's kind of and we just focus on yield generation. We don't focus on like, Ethereum style platforms and blockchain platforms. So it's a huge category that's being built. And we believe that we can really help people to kind of navigate and understand this.
Nice. I think the whole yield category and the yield space is super fascinating. And for someone like me who's followed crypto and blockchain for a long time, it still fascinates me. So I can only imagine people who are just getting into crypto and DeFi.
Yeah.
And to me, it's just such a clear path for a lot of people to financial freedom, and whatever that means for you. You don't have
Mm.
to go crazy and have millions of dollars put into crypto and then yield from that. You can just pay your rent, or even less, pay your for your lease of your car, or whatever financial freedom means to you, and then you can have a plan for building up to it. And just to share my piece, I'm no expert whatsoever. You're way more advanced than I am, but the way I do it, I deposit on Celsius, of course, that we talked about at length. I use different DeFi platforms and yield farms, as they're called. And what I do is I deposit my original amount, my originally invested amount, and then at some point, the projects that I look at is always like solid projects. It's not these sort of newcomers that promise thousands of percentage points in yield. They're pretty good yield still on a compared to the centralized finance space, but not as high as some of these crazy projects. So look at the project that is solid, and then every now and then, let's say this week, some token jumps up in value. Recently, for example, I'm very much into lit, LIT, Litintry. That just popped up in value. And whenever that happens for a certain token, I take out the yield that I've generated over the past month or whenever it popped up last time,
Mm.
and then I convert into either stable coins if I want to be sort of safe, the safe haven, or into some of these bigger coins, Ethereum, etc. That's my strategy. Like I compare it to a farmer that has all these mushrooms, and every now and then a mushroom pops up in my field, and then I take that mushroom home, and then I convert it into
Yeah,
something else.
you cook it for dinner and then you just make some nice food for yourself.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's the way. Yeah, look, that's a viable strategy, right? And that's, you understand risk, you understand what you're doing, you understand your approach, and it's working well. And this is the thing, and none of this has to be like that hard. If we just start with the basics using dollars. Let's not buy speculative assets to start with when we don't understand what we're doing.
Hmm.
Let's not lose half our value within the first month of crypto. Like, that's a shame, and that's going to like really cause a lot of emotional trauma that
Exactly.
you're basically going to start trying to chase. And so let's keep our mindsets in good position. And people don't talk about this often enough. Like, and this is why I try with my clients, try and just keep your mindset in one piece, keep your portfolio at least 80% of what you started with, and then you've got a chance to do something. If you over time we can kind of grow. If you lose so much so quickly, then you're basically wiped out, and then you're back to where you started. So
Hmm.
let's not do that, because that causes so much pain in the brain.
Hmm.
People just say, oh, well, it's easy, I'll just buy something else. It's not. It causes you so much mental trauma, sleepless nights, stress. And the whole idea of financial freedom is that you're free. So
Hmm.
you're not trying to cause like excess pain for yourself, and it catches up with you. Like, and I know this because I did it all myself. Right, I got it all wrong before I
Hmm.
started to get it right. So I am qualified to kind of explain like how that feels, because it feels really bad.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I think there's a lot of examples in the centralized finance world, like Warren Buffett and all these very successful investors. It's small steps over a very long period of time that can build you incredible wealth and
Mm.
freedom, financial freedom.
Yeah.
And that's what people miss at times. And it's very tempting, right? When you see something pop up, you're very tempted to go all in, right? And okay, it's gonna continue, and then it crashes, and then you're wrecked. And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, mental
Part of
stress on
our
that.
philosophy, yeah, part of our philosophy is not to make maximum gains, right? We're not trying to hit maximum gains. So like,
Mm,
I almost reward myself mentally when I see things that go up and they don't fit my criteria. I just say, and it goes up, and I don't say, oh, I should have made that money. I actually reward myself for not making the money. So
mm,
I give myself a mental like, okay, well done. You stuck to your rules. You're still alive. You didn't lose anything. You didn't make anything, but you didn't lose nothing, and you didn't break your rule set. Because if you keep breaking your rule set, you'll end up breaking it, and then you'll end up losing like everything you made. You'll lose back, and it just causes stress again. So you have to have a coping mechanism to not try and make maximum gains, because it's maximum today and minimum given back tomorrow. As we saw it in this recent crash.
mm,
Everyone was a genius. Everyone was laughing at me all year, like, okay, you're not doing very well this year. I didn't lose hardly anything in the crash.
mm.
So like, I'm doing fine, thanks. Like, it's and my revenue actually went up significantly through that correction. So that's just my approach. Other people, if you're a better trader and you want to do that sort of stuff, then that's fine. But everyone has an approach. It's not about doing just what I say, but
Mm,
it's, yeah, understanding what your approach and what you're actually doing. Most people don't even understand themselves what they're actually trying to do.
mm. So let's say I'm listening to this podcast, and I'm thinking there, I don't have any crypto. I'm not into this space. This is the first time I hear about it. And say, okay, Kevin and Mark, this all sounds great. I got $1,000. If you were him or her listening to this with $1,000, what would you do, Kevin, getting into all this?
So first thing is just start with dollars, right? So get it on ramp it, and if you can on ramp it, you can even peer to peer on ramp. I've seen a lot of this now where people will sell you stable coins for cash and things like this. I'm not saying that's a recommended route or anything, because you've got to be careful who you're buying off. But if you get a
Mm,
friend to help you onboard the money, whatever way that is,
mm,
some basic centralized on ramp is the safest solution. And then basically play with the dollars. So you've got two choices: you deposit at Celsius, easy. You just like, that's the lowest friction entry. They've got an application on your phone. You just,
mm,
you can't really get it wrong. That, you just have to make sure the addresses are right.
Mm.
Most of the tokens on there are ERC20 anyway, so you can't really send things to the wrong place. They'll help you if you do get things wrong. But first of all, before you understand it, you're sending, just make sure you do a bit of research and then play with the dollars, put them Celsius or put them on Aave. That's the
Mm.
way to start. And then once you do that, Aave, the rates are reduced at the moment, but you're earning
Mm.
more than you're earning in your bank, and you're learning. And I think trying to keep the $1,000 intact would be my recommendation. And basically for 1 to 2 to 3 months, if you can make $50, it's 50 more than you had before, and then you'll become advanced. You can start using Terra, you can start using
Mm.
cross-chain things, you can start looking at other applications, like you can look at Yield app, you can look
Mm.
at like anything you want to look at basically. But
Mm.
start with the basics and don't lose your capital, and
Mm.
just stick with dollars. Don't buy any Bitcoin, don't buy any Ethereum, and until you know what these assets are and what they do and how much they yield, or if you don't want to yield, or how to put them on a ledger, learn with dollars and just keep it in one piece would be my recommendation.
Nice. And doing so over long periods of times, small steps along the way, that I think has been proven by so many people that can build financial freedom and wealth depending on, whatever your goal is. A lot of people also
Yeah.
suggest to make a plan just so you stick to it and don't get tempted to go crazy buying whatever asset is pumping. I don't know if you guys do that with your labs, like help people make plans, financial plans for themselves, or is that up to them?
Now, what we basically try and do is teach people. So we do have I have a lot of high net worth people reach out to me, one exposure to crypto, but they don't want volatility.
Mm.
So we can get them in a high yielding strategy, and we just teach them to do it themselves. Like, so we're not doing it for them. We're going to offer services where we can manage accounts and different things. But like, what we want is people to be self sovereign and do it all themselves. That's our kind of goal. We're happy to help clients, we're happy to do whatever we want to do, any combination. Some people, they're even in crypto. I see this a lot, and they have millions of dollars in stable coins, and they don't know what to do with it. They don't know where to put it. They put it into altcoins, they're losing it, they're getting stressed. So like, there's solutions for that too. So yeah, just make sure we have a clear plan. Start with dollars. And before you know it, you need to learn what MetaMask is. You need to learn all these things, Bitcoin. When you know all of this, then we can kind of take a little bit of risk somewhere.